Thank you, Fred. Thank you very much. And you have a classical music education, but you have been fascinated by jazz and improvisation. How did it happen?
Well, there was a piano in the house, and I started when I was very small, 4, 5 years old, and I always liked to improvise. It was more fun than practicing. But at first, I would improvise, and it sounds like classical music. And then when I'm 17, I really discovered jazz, and I thought, wow, this is a great language for improvisation. And I'm from a city not unlike Torino, Cincinnati, medium-sized city, maybe 500,000-600,000, and lots of great older jazz musicians. So I learned on the bandstand, hanging out, listening to records, smoking dope. It was a great way to learn, and not in a formal school way, but just to learn in the oral tradition, by listening, trying things, playing with people that were better than me, and that's how you get better.
And what is making you happy with music in this period?
What's making me happy with music? I think I still love the piano. I think now that I'm 62, certain things, I think your energy changes. My energy, I think, is starting to change a little bit. So it's very interesting right now to adapt to being, one of the older guys. And one thing that I enjoy is listening. There's some really great young musicians that I follow, that I think are doing some beautiful, creative things. And I think the music language, jazz language is changing, but there's some really great young musicians out there who are really doing it for me. Great, also with great feeling. So.
Is there a jazz community, in particular in New York, where you live? Is there?
There was, I think, more of a jazz community in the 70s and 80s, before internet and before technology. Everybody would go to the same clubs and bars and hang out. All the legends were still alive. There was more, jazz was more a common language. It wasn't, there's so many different kinds of jazz now. But back then, it was mostly acoustic and mostly a certain, more or less certain style. There were some different styles, but not so many. But I felt back then that it was not polarized. The older musicians, young musicians, black, white, everybody was very friendly. And now I think there are less clubs in New York, less places to play, less places to socialize.
Is there a time for playing and a time and a place for composing, or not?
Yeah, when I'm composing, I'm sort of doing that. I'm very focused on that. Then when I'm playing, I'm very focused on that. But if I'm doing a big project, I'm really super focused on that. The playing, I don't practice so much, but I just want to keep my skills up, so I feel good when I play.
Is there inspiration coming from outside the strictly musical world, social facts, nature, relationship, other arts, poetry in particular?
Sure. Yeah. Tennis. I'm a big tennis fan. Very improvised sport. Personalities. I like the personalities. I like the unpredictability of it. What else? I read a lot. You know, I have a lot of friends who are artists, painters, or poets, or so I take some inspiration from those people too. I try to go to cultural events in New York, to museums and dance and theater, and you know, yeah, there's so much there.
Which kind of welcome has received your autobiography, Good Things Happen Slowly? And how has been working with words instead of notes?
Well, the reception has been really great. Reviews, amazing. I think many people have written me that they really felt something from my story. It felt like a good time in my life to write about how I got here, knowing that hopefully I still have another 10 or 15 or 20 years to go. It was a lot of work. I will never do it again. It took almost 2.5 years from beginning to end. I like words. I like to write. I had a great editor and great support, and I'm really glad I did it. I like words. When I play a standard song, I always know the words. Very important to me. So yeah, I'm definitely. I feel like I have a connection to the printed word. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Fred.
Wow.
Thanks a lot.
Grazie mille.